Hello, this is Daniel from speedcubing.org, and about a year ago, well actually a year and 1 day ago, I made a video predicting this year's cube releases, and I guess it being just over a year since I did it, it's time to mark myself, because I did say that I'd mark myself back then. So the first one I'm going to mark is the Ouchuang WRM. So I predicted there would be an Ouchuang WRM 5x5 and that it would be released in February 2020 and be a competitor to the Valk 5. And sure enough, that did come. The Ouchuang WRM was released, but a bit later than I thought it would be, in April/May time. But 2 out of 3 because predicted the name correctly, even though it was already known at the time. And predicted the performance pretty accurately. So I also predicted there would be an Aoshi WRM 6x6. Unfortunately, this was completely wrong. No such cube has been released yet. So predicted an Alfu WRM released in September 2020. Didn't come out at all, unfortunately. And for GAN, I predicted there would be a GAN 460 V2. No such cube has come out, but we have had some interesting things from GAN, including their Pyraminx and Scube, which I definitely didn't predict. So that's come as a nice surprise, and even their Monster Go series, which I haven't actually tried, but something I completely didn't predict. I predicted that there would be a GAN XII, or just some new GAN flagship 3x3 released in October 2020 that would be one of the best 3x3s on the market. The only thing I got wrong was the name. They released the GAN 11M Pro in October 2020, and it is definitely one of the best cubes on the market. So 2 out of 3. From Yushin, I predicted they would become a bit obsolete if they weren't careful, but I did predict they would release a Haze 6M in July 2020 that would be a competitor to the MGC. No such thing has happened though, unfortunately. They released a Yushin Little Magic 6x6M, which was just a magnetic version of an old cube. I'm not sure if they changed the design actually, probably did, in May. They released it in May. And yeah, it's not a competitor to the MGC, it's just some cheap, scratchy cube that's actually not too bad, but yeah, it's not a Haze 6M, so 0 out of 3. Now, I also predicted from Yushin a Yushin Little Magic 10x10 and 11x11. Now, that didn't come. However, they have released the Yushin Yushin Huanglong 12x12 and 13x13. And in the style of the Yushin Little Magic 8x8 and 9x9. So, I mean, it's partially right, but not really, so 0 out of 3. I predicted that there would be an MGC 4x4 released in March 2020. That would be quite good. I actually said it would be slightly faster than the Aosu WRM, but on the sheet I just put quite good. So, yep, they released an MGC 4x4, as expected. It was a bit later than I predicted. It was actually released towards the end of May. And it is quite good. It's definitely a competitor to the Aosu WRM, one of the best 4x4s, and in many ways a go-to choice because it's half the price of the Aosu WRM. I predicted that there would be an MGC 7x7 released in March 2020 that would be a competitor to the Spark. Now, there was an MGC 7x7, it was released much later in like July/August time, but it is a competitor to the Spark, quite possibly better, depending on who you are, what field you like. So 2 out of 3 for that as well. I also predicted there would be a MGC Pyraminx released in June 2020 that would be reasonably good. This did not happen though. Yeah, it just didn't happen. Maybe it will one day, but not yet, so 0 out of 3 for that. I also predicted there would be a Shadow V2M released in May 2020 that would be a competitor to the MGC. Sure enough, there was a Shadow V2M, but we had to wait until November. But I would say it is a competitor to the MGC. A lot of people have downplayed it, but I think quite a few top cubers actually do use it. I think I heard Timon Kolosinski uses it, and apparently it gets a lot better with a lot of break-in. It's not actually that bad a cube, but I do think the MGC is better for me. But if I get seriously into 6x6, I might consider using this. So I predicted that there would be a Valk 4 Elite released in September 2020. This did not materialise at all, and Mats Valk has retired from competitive cubing, so it's very unlikely it would ever happen. So yeah, that is 0 out of 3. So the last prediction I made, well, not actually last, but last I'm talking about here, was the X-Man Bell V2 released in September 2020 that would be the best Pyraminx on the market. Sure enough, the X-Man Bell V2 came out 2 months earlier than predicted in July 2020 and was, for a short period of time, the best Pyraminx on the market in my opinion until the GAN Pyraminx came out, something I definitely did not predict. So the scores are in for this year. I scored just 12 out of 39. Yeah, not great, is it? It's like 31 or 32%. Yeah, 32%. Not very good, but maybe I'll do better next year. Shortly I'll release a predictions for this year video. Obviously it's a bit into the year, but still, I might as well do it and see what happens, see what comes this year, see how accurate I would be.